Hi, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. My name is Jennifer, and welcome to our fifth OJO Q&A. Today, we are back with Attorney Ohiku, and we are going to be talking about jury trials. A lot of you guys have already heard of a jury or a jury trial before, but Attorney Ohiku is going to go into a bit more detail about different types of juries, what they are, what different jury verdicts mean, and his experience participating in jury trials as a criminal defense attorney. So, Attorney Ohiku, first, can you talk about what a jury is and where the idea of a jury trial comes from?
Well, what a jury is something that I love. I absolutely love juries. And the reason that I love juries is because you have a body convened, a body of someone's peers convened to make a decision. And the reason I like it is because it's more than one person. And usually, as a criminal defense attorney, my jury verdicts have to be unanimous. So that means all 12 people have to agree. So that's why I like juries, because all 12 people have to agree. And a lot of times it's hard to convince two people to agree, right? They always say reasonable minds disagree, right? Or reasonable minds differ. Another thing I learned in law school. So that's why I like juries. Now, in terms of a criminal jury, that comes from the Sixth Amendment, right? Our Constitution, which I love also because it gives us rights. And then in terms of a civil jury, that comes from Constitution, the Seventh Amendment.
Is there more than one kind of jury? Like if I get called on jury duty, what kind of jury would I be serving on?
Oh, that's a very good question. So you can be called on a criminal jury, right? So someone's accused of a crime and the jury is supposed to decide whether, the prosecutor has proved the crime that the person is accused of. So that's a criminal jury. And then there's also civil juries. So let's say someone is being sued for money. They owe someone money and then the person takes them to court, so they sue them. That would be a civil jury.
What kind of verdict is required in a jury trial? You mentioned all jurors have to agree on the verdict. Is that always the case?
So with a criminal case, yes, that's always the case. It's got to be all 12 of the jurors, got to be unanimous, right? With civil, there's something that's called a 5-6 verdict. So that means if you got six jurors, to get my hands right, 6 jurors, 5 of the 6 would have to agree. So that's a 5-6 verdict. And then there's also something that's called, you probably heard of it, or some of you probably heard of it, a directed verdict, right? So a directed verdict is something that the judge will do. So after a party has presented, their case and all the evidence is in, someone can move the judge for a directed verdict saying, Judge, given what's presented, there's no way that, if it's a criminal case, no way that this thing has been proved. So we're asking for a directed verdict. You just look at the evidence yourself, Judge, and you know that there's not a sufficient evidence. So we're asking for a directed verdict. Now, there's also something called judgment notwithstanding the verdict. So that would be after the jury has, delivered its verdict, saying whatever they decided to say, the party can move for a judgment notwithstanding the verdict. That means, Judge, we get that the jury has rendered, their verdict, but we're asking you to set that verdict aside based upon the evidence.
Last question for you, Attorney Ohiku. As a criminal defense attorney, how often do your cases end up in a jury trial?
Often, I love jury trials. So now the decision to go to trial or not, that's not my decision. But if a client decides that they want a jury trial, then I'm happy to do my best to defend them at a jury trial. So a lot of my cases do end up in jury trials. And like I said at the beginning, I love jury trials because with criminal cases, you need all 12 people to agree. And a lot of times that's very hard to do.
Thank you, Attorney Ohiku. This concludes our OJO Q&A for today. If there are any other topics that you would like us to discuss next week, please send us an email at lawclerk@ohiku.com. Thanks for watching.